Start by settling the body, adopting a stable, comfortable, upright position, serviceable for meditation. So think about keeping our feet flat and our back straight, torso open, hands in the lap, right over left, with the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. Our eyes are gently closed or slightly open, making sure we let in enough light to remain alert. Try to maintain an awareness of not slouching, not leaning. Also let go of any unnecessary tension or rigidity in the body, relaxing into a stable, comfortable, upright position, just allowing the body to fall into place. We begin to let go of attending to the outside world, allowing sights and sounds to be as they are. No need to investigate, constraining our awareness just to the body and mind. Concentrating that awareness in the present by attending closely to the physical sensation that accompanies the in-breath and the out-breath and the space around the opening of the nostrils. Noticing quickly when anything other than that one physical sensation is arising in the mind. And then without judgment or frustration, lifting our awareness up from those distractions and placing it gently but firmly again and again on the breath. And then when the mind feels more calm, we'll generate a broad and altruistic motivation for our time. So we take a moment to cultivate the view of ourselves as being the recipient of incredible kindness flowing from all other sentient beings toward oneself, recognizing all of the ways in which we benefit from those around us. Understanding that the fact that we have a place to live, that we have clean water, nutritious food, we live in relative safety, relative comfort, even our own good qualities, the degree to which we've developed kindness, compassion, generosity, patience, ethics, is entirely dependent upon the field of sentient beings. And these sentient beings who have been so limitlessly kind to oneself, upon whom one's own enlightenment depends. In their lives, although they wish to be happy, they wish to be free of suffering, they meet with difficulties, painful inner and outer conditions, again and again without choice. So try to develop the wish to repay their kindness, thinking, in this life, I myself have met all of the necessary conditions. I am perfectly situated to develop my mind, to tap into my potential. And so I must take the essence of this life to achieve those goals to benefit sentient beings. And with that motivation today, we will finish the third contemplation on the types of compassion in Chandrakirti's text. Praise to great compassion. We began by thinking of the existential condition that sentient beings find themselves in, and then looked more closely at the way that grasping at permanence causes suffering for sentient beings. Now we will go more deeply into the wisdom teachings and begin to understand the ways that grasping at inherent existence is the root of suffering for sentient beings. So we begin by returning to the image that we used, the image of a perfectly calm lake on a cloudless, clear night with the full moon brightly overhead. Recognize that when we look in this perfectly reflective mirror of the lake, it is as though there is a moon in the lake. The lake would be perfectly black, just like the sky, except for the reflection of the moon and the stars, just like the sky. Imagine concentrating on the top curve of the moon. Do so with a mind of wisdom, understanding that you are observing water reflecting light, moving your eyes across the surface of the reflection, understanding there's only water and light. Nothing, not even an atom of the moon exists in its reflection. Think, is there anything that can be called inherently, intrinsically a moon, despite the vivid, convincing appearance? Give rise to an understanding that the moon in the water depends upon many factors. The existence of that which is reflected, the light from the sun bouncing off of the moon, in turn traveling, reflecting again off the water, the light hitting your own eyes, your ability to perceive through the visual form in your prior knowledge of these celestial phenomena. They can give rise to the label of moon. All of these causes and conditions coming together. Most subtly and finally, the designation in your mind of moon. And now bring to mind suffering sentient beings, those that you know in this life. Picking one or two, see them vividly and clearly before you. And begin to look at the different parts of their body. Is any observable part inherently, intrinsically them? Which part gives rise to their unique essence from their own side? Would they become a different person simply on the basis of some part of their body being damaged or replaced? If you combine each bodily part, none of which is necessary, then you have simply a collection of non I, non them, non self parts. And think of their mind. Is there one part of their mind that's responsible for their essence, their nature? And if so, what happens to them when a different part of their mind is operating? Do they cease in their sleep? Do they cease when they're angry or jealous? And if the mind is simply a collection of different states, just like the body is a collection of different physical parts, and if there's no one state of mind that's traceable to their essence, and no one physical part traceable to their essence, then just like the reflection of the moon in the lake, they too exist on the basis of the coming together of many causes and conditions, many parts. And they too depend upon an act of mental imputation, the giving of a name on the basis of those parts, those causes and conditions, despite how vividly they appear to you and to them to exist inherently from their own side, separate. And now think of all of the suffering that flows from sentient beings grasping at that idea and false understanding of a findable, separate self, an intrinsically existent, inherently existent I. how sentient beings desperately wish to exist in that way, and all of the clinging and grasping that results. Thinking of the endless fear, the endless struggle to protect and defend and satisfy this ego identity. That arises from believing in a separate self. Sentient beings do exist, but how? They do exist as a dependent arising, as a body and mind of many parts with many causes and conditions that's simply designated. Think how amazing, how wonderful it would be if sentient beings could deeply understand their own nature and thereby be free of the suffering that results from grasping at this false appearance. And then think, may the causes and the conditions for this realization to dawn in the minds of sentient beings arise. May it be so. May it come to pass without any delay. And then begin to give rise to a personal commitment, thinking even by myself alone will I come to the aid of sentient beings to help them to realize this wisdom, this liberating knowledge that will free them from this suffering. And when you're ready, we'll come back together and we'll dedicate. So recollect your altruistic motivation and think that by having engaged in this contemplation, you've actualized that motivation, which has generated positive energy in your mind. And think that you freely offer the fruit of your practice, that positive energy, for the benefit of all sentient beings without exception. Thinking strongly when this positive energy ripens, may it serve as a cause and condition to eliminate war and conflict, poverty, famine, disease, disasters, all painful inner and outer conditions. May it fully ripen the minds of all sentient beings. May they quickly meet perfect teachers and arise in the state of full enlightenment. May I too achieve the state of enlightenment, so that I might work for the benefit of sentient beings perfectly. May any obstacles facing the Guru's long life be completely dispelled. Of enlightenment. Thank you.